available in the sides here, the transept. There's a few seats open and some seats up here as well. I'm going to read to you from the Gospel of John, chapter 13. I'm going to begin reading. That is correct. Yeah. Can I get someone? Yes, ma'am. You're interfering with our worship.
A group of protesters decided that they wanted to go into a church and just mess everything up. Why? Because they believed that the pastor was allegedly a member of ICE. This is crazy.
Into Minneapolis a little bit ago and did some reconnaissance on the ground. I'm speaking to an organization there that's gearing up for resistance and protest. I've been pleasantly surprised to see the community coming together. Diverse community. If you see this, when we first pulled up, we're like, wait a minute, which operation are we at? And as it turns out, because we're like, well, this is kind of MAGA coded, right? Saw the American flag or whatever, but these are resistance protesters. They're planning an operation that we're going to follow them on. I can't tell you exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pullup. And it's Takima Armstrong, and she has been doing this since George Floyd, Dante Wright, and others, where they surprise people, catch them off guard, and hold them to account. And so that's what we're doing here. And then after we do this operation, you'll see it live and use these operations as surprise operations. Again, I can't tell you where they're going.
I should have known nasty Don Lemon had something to do with this. I should have just known, man. He has a reputation for taking part in a lot of foolish things similar to this. This is not cool. Like, I don't know what y'all think y'all protesting, but y'all going in there disturbing like a church from worshiping the Lord. This is demonic, just in my personal opinion. It's pretty damn demonic.
In your house, the trace you walk in your house, Lord.
That is correct.
Renee Good! Renee Good! Renee Good! Renee Good! Renee Good! Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Whipple every day fighting for the humanity, standing for our people? Where are you? You drink your coffee, you got your jewelry, you have your nice clothes, but what do you do? What do you do to stand for your Somali and Latino communities? I'm not going to comment. You have no comment. Exactly.
That's crazy. I'll tell you what, they lucky I don't go to that church. They lucky I'm not someone that's in that church. It would have been real trouble. I had old school BX would have came out. The old me would have jumped back full force. Nigga, I would have came back like riding a bike. Nigga, I would have been in here maybe throwing them things, nigga. Possibly in a video game, hypothetically, anything that doesn't get me in trouble right now. But I'm saying, yo, that's not safe. It's like really nasty that y'all thought that was appropriate to do. They even had kids running out the back as Don Lemon record the children getting scared and running out the back of the church like it's funny.
This guy here, look, he's hugging his kid. And, you know, I just imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful, it's very slippery right here. Yeah. It's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, but that's what really, careful, please, really slippery. Not kidding. That's what protesting is about. And so
that's what protesting's about. Terrorizing children and just scaring the heck out of them. That's what it's all about. Don Lemon is the Freddy Krueger of journalism. The hell do you mean that's what this is all about? This dude's a sicko. And I see people out here trying to defend him. No, he need to go down with them. He had to be aware of what was going to happen. And even as it's happening, he's sticking microphones in people's faces and recording children running away. This is very disturbing, bro.
We have a duty to
comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a man wearing a suit. Is a preacher? Did Jesus wear a suit? Did Jesus profit off the words? No. Jesus would dine with immigrants. You do not touch me. Touch me again and see what happens.
Hey, you can't leave.
You are a fake Christian. Why are you not standing with your Somali and Latino communities? Why do I not see you out at Whipple every day protesting this attack on humanity?
These people in this church had nothing to do with whatever he's saying at all. So what is even going on here, fam? And then if you say, hey, Christians are under attack in this world, they gonna say you just going crazy and making it up when there's blatant footage of it. The children had nothing to do with what he was saying at all either. And then stop him from chasing the car down and filming the kids even more, just putting them on the internet and posting them on TikTok without anyone's permission. Yeah, that's what the protesters against ICE should be doing. That's gonna stop ICE.
Living real comfortable while the people starve. Living real comfortable while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're all living real comfortable, aren't you? Shame on you. Do something. Stand with the Somalis. Stand with the Latinos. Quit ignoring this injustice. He wears a suit and tie and he hangs out with Christy Nome. How is that a Christian? You're supposed to accept all immigrants, are you not?
I'm not sure how stalking someone, well, multiple people, is protesting. Like, if you followed them out of the church and into the streets and into their cars, like, I don't see how that's protesting. And you keep talking about some Latino and Somalian brothers. My brother ain't Latino or Somalian. Not last time I checked. He was neither of those. And he was born in the Bronx, like me. So I don't really know where that's coming from. You ain't never do nothing for me under your, I guess you could say, rules. What you do for me? You ain't never helped me out. I ain't struggled my whole life growing up in the Bronx. I ain't never seen this person holding this camera come and give me any form of help. Him screaming and following and stalking people ain't helping nobody either. It is probably trying to, get him some clout of some form. That's probably his intention.
What do you think of this?
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. So,
but there were folks who
that's what, I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution and the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
Yeah. We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me though.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why we're here.
Okay.
That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I ask that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to chronicle what happened?
Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship.
Yeah.
We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Don Lemon is so nasty. So yeah, I am Christian. I am worshiping right now as I interrupt with a bunch of people and storm the stage. Yeah, we're here to worship. That's what we do. This dude is foul, bro. This dude is foul. I don't know how anyone could support this. And mind you, he talking about some don't push me. If you look at the damn footage, all right, if you can go back at it and look, Don is pulling this pastor into him as the pastor is trying to go away and go and help out his family in the church. Don Lemon is trying to pull him back towards the camera with his left hand when the pastor puts his hand out and puts it on Don. Now, don't push me. This man is so deceitful, bro. It's clear as day what he's doing. And it seems like the government, they caught on to it too. And there's going to be repercussions.
Will pursue charges in this case. I see various crimes that have occurred. Exactly what they are, I'm not going to flag, but the FACE Act has been mentioned as one of the predicates there. In other cases, the Biden DOJ used the Klan Act conspiracy charges tacked on to the FACE Act in the case of protests outside abortion clinics to bring much longer sentences. So there are a number of tools available to us. Who funded this? What else? What other crimes may have occurred? Was there a use of the wires or the mails in preparing for this event? Did anyone cross state lines to do this. All of those are potential predicates for additional federal charges.
Armin, I've just pulled up the Klan Act because this is the first time that I've heard this mentioned. This is a act that was passed in 1871, correction there, to combat the Ku Klux Klan and protect African Americans' voting rights, especially the Enforcement Act, which is known as the Force Act. So here's some of the information on screen. Would you mind breaking down for us, because we have just read the FACE Act and how this is an affinity to the FACE Act, an obvious and egregious demonstrable violation of the FACE Act, because they were entering a place of worship, harassing and threatening. We just played a video of a man, a bearded man, who was threatening to attack the Christians that were worshiping there. So it seems like an obvious FACE Act violation. But the Klan Act here, it is on screen. First time I've heard it mentioned. Can you unpack this for us, Harmeet?
Yeah, the Klan Act is one of the most important federal civil rights statutes, and it goes back to the time when President Lincoln emancipated the slaves, and yet the southern states, Dixiecrats mainly, were refusing to give them equal rights. And in fact, that you had sheriffs and you had law enforcement harassing the newly freed slaves. So the Klan Act is a law that makes it illegal to terrorize citizens, to violate their civil rights, to get together and conspire to violate the civil rights. It is often used against law enforcement, but is now used against others as well. So whenever anyone conspires to violate the protected civil rights of American citizens, the Klan Act can be used to bring a conspiracy charge.
Got him. They thought TikTok was about to protect them. Like, I don't know why. They assumed that there was going to be no kind of consequence for this. And maybe it's because the way the world is and how you could just say that you're doing it for a liberal reason, and they'll just give you the green light. I don't think that's going to happen in this case. I think Don Lemon himself needs to be in trouble as well. Like, dude, it's not cool. You're doing this for what? Ratings? If this was like switched and this was like a conservative, I guess you could say, channel or media outlet that did similar things with some MAGA protesters, y'all would be losing your minds. Y'all would be going crazy right now, saying all types of stuff. But because this was done in the opposite way, it's okay? No, it's not okay. He even tried to justify it.
MAGA administration and the fake news MAGAs are losing their mind over something that's not even true. So let me just make it clear, because it's a assistant attorney general, I don't know, what's her name? Something Hammett, Gillen or whatever. So I had no affiliation to that organization. I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there. We were there chronicling protests. Once the protest started in the church, we did an act of journalism, which was report on it and talk to the people who were involved, which included the pastor, members of the church, and members of the organization. That's it. It's called journalism. First Amendment, all that stuff. For all of you people who believe in the First Amendment, absolutist, there you go. So why don't you talk to the actual person who is in charge of the organization and whose idea it was to have the protests at the church before you start blaming me for stuff for which you have no idea. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Cap. Super cap. I mean, we were just doing our job in journalism. No, you were antagonizing it. Also, I don't think these protesters would have went as hard without the media attention that was with them and riding with them too as well. That agreed. Like, you can't play innocent, dude. This guy's crazy. Oh, let me just record him. He was getting, I didn't see you get in none of the protesters' face with that damn camera and mic in the moment. No, you was not doing that. You was cool with them. You filmed the children running away. How do you think that this is okay? And then now you going back and forth with Nicki Minaj and saying that you want ICE to take Nicki Minaj out the country, that you want them to deport her. Oh, it's okay when whoever you say gets deported. But in general, you think that people should be harassed just for even being believed to be a member of ICE. This dude is a hypocrite, bro.
To do it this time. I think Nicki Minaj has made it very clear how she feels about African Americans in this country. For I don't think she's one of them, obviously. And she should, under Trump's rules, she should be deported, because I don't think reportedly that she is a legal citizen here. She is undocumented. And so she has shown her disdain for African Americans. So why are you supporting her? Why are you buying her records? She's also supporting, I have lots of gay friends who love Nicki Minaj. Why are you supporting this homophobic, bigoted, ignorant woman. You should not be supporting her. Nicki Minaj, this is clearly out of her depth. She doesn't understand politics. She doesn't understand journalism. And I'm not surprised that she is weighing in on something that is beyond her capacity. What I will say to her is, because she put a doll, I think she put the Chucky doll in there. A better symbol that should have been represented in that picture is a pick-me doll, because Nicki Minaj is a pick-me. She will do anything that is expedient for her politically. And again, she's ignorant. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's always weighing in on things that she doesn't know about. Nicki Minaj should just sit the fuck down. And by the way, isn't she married to an alleged pedophile? And she has the nerve to say something disparaging about something homophobic. I'm pretty sure that maybe that's part of the reason that she is cozying up to the Trump administration for some sort of leniency for her family members. And it's just very transparent. So Nicki Minaj, F off, stop being a homophobic bigot, and, get a life and some brains.
Okay, we will leave it there. All right. I know you said you don't normally respond, but that was a response.
And it's the journalist, right? The professional. Hey, the dean, you get alleged. Isn't it alleged that? What? Wow, bro. Yeah, that was disgusting for sure. Like, that was like pretty evil. And what did Nicki Minaj say to get him to even act like that? That it was wrong for them to go into a church. And then she hopes that people get prosecuted for this. The way that they just went into that church and ran up in there, yes, they deserve criticism. That's all she said. But wait, Nicki Minaj is conservative, so she's evil in their eyes. This is stupid, bro. This is nasty.